All right, welcome back to Serious Chess, where I'm on day 7 of playing Leelaqueenodds. Um, Settle right in, sit down, enjoy, subscribe, like, and share. This is Leela without a queen and also missing a knight. So these odds are going to be. I like these odds. Um, so I'm going to go ahead and make sure that my queen does not get trapped. And this is a good move by Leela, and because there is no move that I can make um, that would protect the c7 square, other than moving my king. So I do have to move my king as far as I'm aware. And now he comes out, and I either have to move my knight, in which case then he'd have that rook move. So you just slide the rook over, and then possibly push the pawn, and I might lose a piece. So now I have to ask myself, do I want to play g7, or do I want to think about maybe sacrificing a knight uh, for the d3 pawn, for the e3 pawn? I'm sorry, for the e3 pawn. And I'm basically just going to try to get all of my minor pieces out, developed, and find a reasonably safe place to have my king hide. So now the idea is that if I take that pawn, he takes back, and now his bishop is going to open up at the queen. So that's why I make that move. He immediately takes advantage of the fact that the knight is pinned. So now I have to either take back with the king or give up a supporting pawn. Both are bad options, but I took what I thought was the better of the bad options. Now I can get rid of his knight either by moving the pawn or moving the bishop. If it just feels like he's going to play knight to c7, so at this moment he can, because the bishop prevents the king from being able to take it. But now my knight is still pinned, but Leela has to castle into an absolute mess. So a good way to beat Leela when you've got the piece odds kind of like this is meaning if there's a huge material imbalance, then my suggestion would be sacrificing a minor piece for some pawns, and a little bit of that will go a long way. So I just kind of forgot about what he was doing intentionally, because my right now my offensive thing that I'm doing over here is the only thing that really matters, because I should be able to checkmate him or come very close to it. My king is much safer than his. The only thing is that he might be able to figure out a way to win my queen, or at least I might have to give it up for a rook. So before I do anything else on that side of the board, I'm just going to try to trade off at least one rook. And now he can't take back, or the queen would have been able to take the remaining rook. So that knight move seemed like more of like an unusual panic. Leela is not, Leela Piece Odds is not built like Stockfish. It's not like a bot that is going to always play the best move. It does things that are unique to being in a situation where you are down material. So now I have the ability to check him out and check again, and now very close to a checkmate. So I decide, because my worry is that we will see a stalemate. I decide that I'm going to just march up the board this way. Now this is almost a stalemate, and I was not going to let that happen. So I promote the pawn, and check out the first or second link in the video description if you would like to learn how to checkmate with just a queen and a king versus just a king. And if you ask anyone who knows me, they'll tell you I am just a king. So now very easy to stalemate Leela here. Luckily does have one pawn left, so I actually could just move my king up, and that would be yeah. I could have just moved the king immediately, but I go for this because I had very little time left. I really just wasn't thinking. So now that would be a tragic end had I allowed him to queen, but it does not happen. I move all the way down, swing the queen around, and that's what it's all about. So now that I have slayed Leela Piece Odds in only 2 tries, we move on to the Leelaqueenodds game of the day. I've been playing about 10 games a day. And the thing about this opening, especially when Leela doesn't have a queen, is that the knight can swing out and put the king in check. But then you just let the bishop develop, maybe even the knight. So I don't go for that. I edited in the board with some ideas that I'm thinking about. So I'm showing right now how I'm always worried about his knight hopping down there, messing up my pawn structure at a minimum, and allowing for maybe more devastating tactics in the future. If you can see a position in your mind palace where his rook has moved onto the G file. So now the idea for me is going to be to push a lot of queenside pawns, develop my pieces, and so I go for the minor piece sacrifice. There were a lot of different sacrifices I could have made there. I did want to quickly mention for the past, just a quick note about the past. It is strange to me that to this day nobody has yet apologized to me, which is okay, but it's also, I don't know. Looking back, I had so many problems with my phone and my computer involving the Bluetooth functionality, involving sound input, things that really seem to match up almost one-to-one with the chess.com Proctor program. I decided to defend the pawn with the bishop. So yes, I am alleging that at a chess tournament in July of 2024, somebody put a version of Proctor on my devices. I'm very specifically making that allegation. That is the allegation I'm making. So now he could have taken the pawn and won an exchange. I like to be able to block the bishop with the knight here, but I'm noticing that he's probably going to drop the knight down, and he can come back and check. So I either have to move the rook up or the other rook up. I could move the queen up, but the same goes for this situation. I don't really want to play f6. I would like to be able to just have the pawns defended. In my experience against Leela, especially, you would rather be defending the pawns with a rook and have this kind of thing happen, even though it's scary. You would much rather defend with the pawn, or I'm sorry, defend the pawn with the rooks, than allow him the opportunity to find tricky things with the knight. So we do a little bit of back and forth, a little bit of dancing. There's no real way that the queen can move to a dark square and check him right now. I looked for some kind of way to do that, and yeah, you can see that I'm thinking about pushing the pawn, which is what the engine likes. My idea was to now push the pawn and to move my queen up to the 6th rank and see if I could eye that bishop, maybe win it, because if I ever have to move a rook up there, all of a sudden he's got moves. Maybe not that in that specific position, but you could imagine. Yeah, I mean, you could probably imagine a position in your mind palace. So I might move the knight back because I would like to exchange. I would like to drop the exchange like so. That position looks great to me. Didn't not gonna happen. So now he moves his bishop back. I could have taken the pawn there. I should have taken the pawn there. It just looks like he would have been able to maybe find a tactic, uncovered attack. I get another chance to take there, but I was terrified about this knight move. So with that said, now the problem with this position, because I played g6, is that he does have knight tricks, and he pulls off a knight trick. And now, that's I showed on the bottom what it said I should have done, but that's not what I did. And because of that, we get to our position of the day. And that is your position of the day. All right, so I blundered here. I blundered. Did I even show the blunder? I hope not. I thought that what would happen is, because if my king was just behind the pawn, I would have been able to get to an end game where I would be up a pawn and a knight. So, but I blundered. I couldn't take back. So now I'm material is even, but I'm down the exchange. So he's going to almost checkmate me repeatedly, and I'm going to try to avoid getting checkmated. So the game is over for all intents and purposes. So I didn't feel like I needed to show it. So you really have to watch out for any kind of checkmate. The only way that I can do this is if I can bring a piece down, or I could have also moved the king over one square. But Leela saying, what the howdy? That's how Leela talks. Probably. So now I have to move the king over just so that I can get it behind the knight, or else I wouldn't be able to get in there. Yeah, I feel like anybody watching this video certainly knows this, but I do not use any kind of outside external assistance. I barely use any internal assistance, and I have demonstrated this before, and you can check out one of the links in the video description to see an example of fair play from the laptop in question, which was at the chess tournament in July of 2024, when I foolishly, I guess, I mean, I grew up in a time where people didn't show up for no discernible reason in real life. Like, you just didn't do that. It was like a thing you didn't do because it's not funny. It's creepy, and it's you would have there. I mean, I don't know how to say this other than there'd have to be something legitimately wrong with you. So I just hope those people get better. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to play Stockfish level 8, the Big Kahuna. And if you want to copy and paste the FEN, this is day 7. I have 2 draws against Leelaqueenodds, and that would make 5 losses. I've been playing about 10 games a day, however. And my account is definitely shadow banned, so not able to play people. Does that have anything to do with having some kind of software on my computer that was responsible for all of the issues? Well, some people probably know the answer to that. And for whatever reason, they just sure don't want to tell me. They just don't want to tell me. So what a shame. Now I am playing Stockfish level 8. It's very difficult. I thought, honestly, I thought that I would easily win this. I have, from the position of the day, usually starting at like move 15 to 20 for the previous ones I've done. I've won pretty easily, but this one was harder. The first two, I think out of the first three I did, I could not win one of them. I eventually got a draw after I reviewed what the best moves were, but it took me like a million tries to get it. There's a really cool move at some point in the actual game that I played where there was a check, and I didn't see the follow up to it, so I wasn't sure why I would do it. But yeah, so now my idea is, because I just can't quite. There's this. I can almost checkmate him without any help from the pawns, but I'm eventually going to have to push a pawn, or I could finagle the knight in. It could drop back right now, actually, and that would be an excellent move. But I did not make that move. I made that move. That was the move I made. So now I can check him a whole bunch of times and have the queen drop back. Eye the pawns. Eye of the tiger. Thrill of the fight. And yeah, Stockfish, very nice coordination at the moment, which is making this just a bit more difficult than it really should be. But have no fear. I will be able to get get Stockfish down, and eventually out. So I can maybe take the pawn, but yeah, not really. So I was thinking I could because of this check, but he can drop the bishop back. So tricky. He doesn't have any tricks that win the queen at the moment, so I can either hide behind the pawn. It's a little bit dangerous though because of the bishop's current diagonal. So now I just have to move the pawns up. Which pawns? It doesn't really matter. The concern isn't so much that I will not win the game. It's that Stockfish will be able to find a way to force a stalemate. Stockfish does that much better than Leela, the Piece Odds Leela. So it is my understand. Wait, is it Leela that doesn't have? Is it Leela that doesn't have a like a bot version of it, or is that? No, that's alpha. That's alpha chess. Is it alpha chess 0 as well? Is it Leela chess 0 and alpha chess 0? That's interesting. All right. Anyways, I guess great bots think alike. So am I able to find a fork here? No, I'm not, but I have this, and then I can take the pawn, and then I can move another pawn over. And then I even if I could check him away from the rook, it wouldn't matter because the bishop is defending the rook. So what am I going to do? Check him and move a pawn up. So probably the pawn on the, well, yeah, this one's fine, I guess. So he has to give up the bishop now, and he also can't check. So very nice circumstances surrounding the outcome of this game. And if you would like to partake in the challenge, copy and paste the FEN. It's below in the video description, and you can also play this against. You can plug this into ChessBase. You can examine it. Do what you want with it. Just let me know how you did, and don't be late for dinner. Yeah, I was trying to find a faster checkmate, and I honestly didn't see one. So I guess what I'm doing is fine, technically. Technically. Is there really no checkmate here? He could have taken the pawn. Why did I do? Oh, I see. Because I could have If he took the pawn, then I could check on c5, and I could have taken the rook. That was clever of me, but it didn't work. He avoided it. So now I just have to move back and down. The king has one square to go to, so I won't stalemate him right now. I'm going to try to get a queen. So and in high school, people would always say to me, you need to just try to get a queen. So I don't get that joke, and I'm going to now get a second. No, I'm not getting a second queen. That was an interesting choice. All right, so if you want to learn how to checkmate with just a queen, and much like me, just a king on your opponent's side, then check out the link. And as for me, I'm out. Call me maybe.